Hey, what's up, guys? This is Francisco with Valareso Capital. And before we start the weekend video, I just wanna wish you guys a happy new year. And I'm sure that this year is gonna be full of opportunities for everyone. So I expect that you are ready for it, and I hope that you had a great time with your family and your friends, and that you're ready to start this year in a positive note. So let's start by looking at the Nasdaq Composite here. Right, we can see that the buy signal that was active on December 23rd continues to be active, right? We have the Nasdaq Composite tried of kind of went all the way to this pivot, got rejected, but we are continue the price continues to hold the 21 EMA and also the 50 DMA right here. We also have in terms of my indicators, we continue to have the squeeze that is pointing higher, and we also have this bullish divergence that continues to play out. So I do expect more upside here. I expect the Nasdaq Composite to find support right here in the 50 DMA and the 21 EMA, and I'm looking for the Nasdaq Composite to ultimately test these all-time highs right here and perhaps keep moving higher. So let's just start looking at some of the names that I mentioned last week. Let's start with Amazon right here. As we can see, I mentioned Amazon on this day, but we failed right here at the 50 DMA, and then we were price was unable to close above the 21 EMA. So this setup needs a little bit more time, right? We're starting to form kind of a head and shoulders bottoming pattern here. Of course, this setup is broken if we close below 3,300 level, right? So just keep this one in mind. I don't think it's actionable right now, but I do think that Amazon is gonna find. I do think that Amazon is gonna find some buyers coming out from this pattern, but we will see. Then I also mentioned Datadog last week. If you just, I think Datadog continues to be a valid setup, right? We have the slingshot squeeze, we have the buy signals, we have the neutral momentum coming out of a bearish momentum, and more importantly, look at this box right here, right? Look at all the tight daily closing ranges here. I think Datadog is ready for a breakout. I'm expecting Datadog to take out this pivot right here and eventually move to the target. So if you're looking for an entry on Datadog, I think that right here is an excellent place near the 21 EMA. And as always, using this -1 ATR as a place to manage risk, and looking for a 2 ATR profit zone. So keep that one in mind. I think that this continues to look interesting, and I think there's a lot of opportunity in this name. Now let's move into Facebook right here. I mentioned Facebook on last week's video, and Facebook was the only one of the three that actually reached the target. As we can see, we have this double top here. We came a little bit close, right? Not exactly to the point, but this is enough to take profits, right? This is a 2 ATR move using a 1 ATR stop, giving yourself a 2 to 1 risk reward. So I'm glad that this one worked out exactly I was expecting to it, right? We have the slingshot squeeze, we have the buy signals, right? We have the transition from bearish momentum into bullish momentum, and this is exactly what my setups are all about, right? Taking a position near the 21, paying yourself near 2 ATR, and using a 1 ATR as your stop. So nice to see Facebook work, and I think this is probably gonna take some time to set up again right here, and then looking again for another trade similar to the one of last week. And now let's go into the names that I just want to mention for this upcoming week. I'm looking for the famous January effect, right? In which a lot of these beat up names start to find a bid, so that funds start getting positions in these names. Of these names, I like Affirm a lot, right? We also have, as you can see, a lot of these names have these head and shoulders bottoming pattern as well. We also have the divergence, right? The indicators going up as price is just trending sideways. We can see that Affirm is already trading outside of the wedge. And what I think is really interesting in Affirm is, right, we have this day down, and then we have this bullish engulfing candle on this day right here, and now what we have is just an inside day. So I think that you can get into Affirm, manage your risk somewhere around here, and looking as always for that target. into this pivot right here, or even into the falling 50 DMA right here. I'm looking for a firm to start closing above the 80 MA, right, which is the orange line here, to increase to my position here. So this one is looking pretty nice. Then I'm also watching IWM here, right? If you don't want to play an individual name, I think this ETF is starting to set up again, right? We have the bullish divergence, right? Price going down, indicators going up. We have the transition from bearish momentum into neutral momentum, and now we already have bullish momentum and the squeeze going higher. Also notice, same as a kind of similar to Datadog, look at the daily closing ranges, right? This is getting pretty tight, and most of the times this signals institution accumulation. When we start to get these tight closing ranges, that's usually when we get a breakout. So keep this one in mind, right? We are trading just below the 50 DMA. I think price is going to break of that 50 DMA, and you can find a quick trade for the breakout going into the close of the gap that we had right here in in the beginning of in the end of November going into December. So look for this one, right? We have kind of this 1 2 3 pattern, and we're looking for that breakout. So this one is looking pretty fine. I think you can definitely play this one. Then I'm also looking at. I continue to look at Roku, right? Uh, Full disclosure, I have a position in Roku, and I continue to look for the target right here, right? I'm still looking for Roku to come test these lows right here, eventually to close the gap that we have right here. And as you can see, right, very similar. Look at the daily tight closing ranges, right? Look how Roku is been closing these days. This is institutional accumulation. So we have the same thing, right? We have price going down, indicators going up. We have the squeeze. We have the bullish momentum, and I think Roku is setting out for a move here. Of course, we have the decline in 50 DMA, so I do expect that if Roku start closing above this range here, above this 0618. I do expect the 50 DMA to be resistance, but eventually I'm looking for Roku to come here, test these pivots right here, and then eventually close the gap above. So this one is looking great. I continue to think that this is going to be a huge winner in the first weeks of January. And then I also have something similar, right? I have very similar names here. You don't have to play them all, but this is just an idea generation. But we also have Spotify, right? Same thing, right? We have the bullish divergence, price going down, indicators going up. We have the same box, right? Very tight daily closing ranges, right? These usual signals that there's a high probability for a breakout to the upside. I think that you can play Spotify, right? Getting a position near that 21, using that -1 ATR as a stop, and always looking for a 2 ATR trade, giving yourself that 2-to-1 risk reward. I think this one is looking great. We have the squeeze, we have the neutral momentum coming out of bearish momentum, and I think Spotify is looking great here for a move up to the decline in 50 DMA. And then finally, I have Unity Software. Unity Software, very similar to the names that we just saw, right? Same head and shoulders bottoming pattern. We have the buy signals. We have the indicator going up. We have this lean shot squeeze, and I think that you can get Unity Software managed risk somewhere around this -1 ATR, looking for a first target right at that 50 DMA that we have here, and I think that eventually, given that we have a squeeze, I think there's eventually a chance that we go and hit that 2 ATR level right here. So as always, looking for a confirmation, perhaps a close above this DTL, and then looking for Unity Software to move pretty quickly, given that there's a lot of shorts that are gonna get squeezed here. So in summary, right, I'm looking for a lot of these beaten down names that we saw, right? We saw a lot of selling in ARK, right? We can check the ARK ETF really quickly, right? We saw that a lot of these names, right, came all the way here, right? We have these bullish trading from October to November, and then we started to get all these bearish price action, right? The price started to close below the 21 EMA. We got the bearish cross, and then we got our first sell signal here, went all the way down, and then eventually these names are starting to find a bottom, in my opinion, right? We have a lot of these bullish divergence, and when we have the price flat, indicators going up, we have the squeeze, we have the neutral momentum coming out of bearish momentum, and I'm looking for ARK to take out this pivot, close above the 21 EMA, and eventually move all the way up here to the decline in 50 DMA. So I think that's going to have an effect. That's going to have an effect on a lot of these names that we just covered, and I think there's a trade to be had there. So keep those names in mind. If you have any question, guys, just tell me. We can discuss and we can talk about it. And of course, if you have some ideas, just put them on the chat and we can review those as well. So thank you for watching, guys, and I expect that you have an amazing start of the week. And let's get this year, let's go strong, and let's look for trades to take. So good luck and have a good one.